get motivated. It's time to be inspired. You are tuned in to the Coach V Show, where iron sharpens iron. Now here's your host, Viliami Tuivai, Coach V.
Welcome to the Coach V Show. It is Mana Motivation Monday, January 20th, 2020. The Coach V Show is your radio show for personal and professional development, with expert insights and interviews to help you, me, and we become the best we can be. Where iron sharpens iron, together we rise on Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives. I am your host, Coach V. Viliami Tuivai, and the Coach V Show focuses on bringing you powerful and transformational content, knowledge, and proven tactics to help you, me, and we improve on our self-confidence, develop our potential and talent, increase our value and business opportunities, and the realization of our dreams and aspirations. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight, I'm talking and continuing on this ever-going topic this entire January of new beginnings. And also in the upcoming shows, I'll be talking about new beginnings. But first and foremost, I must throw a huge shout out to the Island Block Radio family and Dash Radio on the grand opening Thursday, January 16th on the new digs. And the new digs are hot. As we continue to talk about this new year, new beginnings is reminding ourselves who we are, what direction we want to go in life, take inventory of our lives, getting back to the basics, designing the life of our dreams, and then living that life. Tonight, we're going to be talking about two things in terms of new beginnings. One, how do we take inventory? And then number two is how to create a mission plan, a mission statement for our personal lives. Because we usually, every single industry that I've been in, they all have, each company, organization, nonprofit, city, government entity that I've been to has a mission statement. I think you, me, and we should have our own as well. First off, though, in terms of taking inventory on these first two segments on Island Block Radio, powered by Dash on the Coach V Show, are these ABCs, this article I found by Maxim Martineau. The ABCs on taking a personal inventory, from personality types to interest inventories. With it being a new year, 2020, and a new decade, not just a new year, but also a new decade of really taking stock of our aspirations. But for some, the excitement of the new year comes to be a screeching halt, especially now. This is the 20th of January. In these New Year's resolutions and these new goals, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, what exactly do you really want to accomplish this year? Are you in the right career? What kind of change would be the best for you? I know a lot of folks talk about that stuff, but this is when it really gets thick. When it comes to the forefront of my mind, or our minds, in terms of the holidays have come and gone. We've kind of hung around. We watched the playoffs the last couple weekends. We got two teams going to the Super Bowl. Shout out to the Niners. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs fans. I am a huge Niner fan. We have sucked for so long, and I'm just grateful for the fact, in terms of new beginnings, man, that we have, Lynch in the front office. We got Coach Shanahan. We got a freaking amazing team, and as we're moving forward, what is the personal inventory? The Niners have been doing that. The Kansas City Chiefs have been doing that. The Lakers have been doing that. My Lakers have sucked for so long. We haven't even made the playoffs. We even had LeBron James last year, and we still didn't make the playoffs. So what is that? What is personal inventory? Taking a personal inventory means this, right? Reflecting inwardly and taking stock of what makes you, me, and we ourselves. From personality types to morals, interests, these are the truths that define us as people. And taking a moment to really assess our intrinsic makeup internally could make setting a new resolution, a new course, a new direction a lot easier, and even more so, more attainable. There are plethora of tools, coaches, speakers, conferences, all these things that can be done, as well as some easy practices you can use to take a comprehensive personal inventory. It might be a little nerve-wracking to sit and look inward, but the results are well worth it. I mean, really, before anything is outwardly executed in terms of performance, execution, and results, there's this inward manifestation of making sure we know what we have, who we are, what we want to do, what we want to become, what are our dreams, hopes, and aspirations, what is the joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love for us in life, what are our goals, our dreams, our achievements that we want. Well, what are those things? And truly understanding how your personal interests play a major role in your development professionally and personally could set you up for long-term success, achievement, because those things matter, but even more so this long-term happiness and life fulfillment. I mean, why would I want to take a personal inventory? Think about it like this. Right? What happens if big business forgets to take inventory of their items? They crumble. They might be going through the motions, making sales and attending to their storefront. But if they aren't periodically checking in on their inventory, what they have, what the products, who's working, all that, the scheduling and all that, you know what happens? Failure. The same notion can be applied to taking a personal inventory with ourselves and in the person in the mirror. If your daily grind has become familiar, if you're feeling unrest, but can't put your finger on it, then it's time to take a step back and look inward. Taking stock of your wants and your goals is necessary. I mean, New Beginnings is all about that. It's even more important to be honest about whether or not your current daily actions, your daily habits and activities are aligned with your goals, dreams, hopes, and aspirations. There are 3 steps that I'm going to be going over in this segment. Identify your areas you'd like to work on. Write that down. Take out a piece of paper, grab a pen, grab a pencil, write it on the grease board, take out your phone and take notes, and identify. Number 1 is identify the areas that you'd like to work on, want to get better at, become the best at. 2 is, I would highly suggest, as well as this article it is that I have read in preparation and made notes in preparation to bring you major value, is find a personality test. Google personality test. And then conduct an interest inventory. And I'll explain what that is. Identify areas you'd like to work on is first things first. You need to make a list, grab some paper and pen, find a quiet space, and categorize major components in your life. Some options might include relationships. I'm all about relationships, career, finances, etc. You can do as little or as many as you'd like. Whatever you need to do accurately to identify your goals, being healthy, eat more vegetables, work out more, do less of these things. If you want to talk about being more fulfilled and having the opportunity to achieve more success, Coach V believes in this: cutting out the crap in our lives that bring no value to our lives. And here's a tip. Don't list just the negatives, list the deltas. Delta, or the triangle in scientific talk, or like notes or short script, it means changes. It's important to see the things you'd like to change versus the things that are wrong or bad. The whole purpose of this inventory exercise isn't to bring you down, but to bring to light the things that are potentially hindering you from reaching your highest of potential. When it comes to this portion of taking personal inventory, there's no right or wrong way to evaluate yourself. You simply need to be honest. No one else needs to see this list, so there's no reason to fudge your answers. Having a concrete list of things you can easily refer to is a step in the right direction. Who knows? You might be crossing those deltas off one by one faster than you, me, and we might think. If you think you can't really identify the reasons for taking personal inventory, finding success will be that much more difficult down the line. I mean, try it. Try narrowing your focus. Maybe you want to become an entrepreneur so you can set your own work schedule and spend more time traveling, like your boy Coach V. I love doing that. And I got to work for somebody, and I'm always collaborating and bringing value to someone. Someone still has to give me a check. There's always still contracts, right? But I get to govern when it is in terms of my schedule, and my staff sends it out to my one-on-one clients. They go on this Dubsado link. They press the link. It tells them what times that they can meet with me one-on-one on the phone. I mean, I get to schedule that. I'm the one who gets to slot that. I still got to work, though. I still got to work for somebody. Maybe you want to start your own business so you can donate a portion of the proceeds to a cause that you're passionate about. Keeping these motives in the forefront of our minds and in the center of our spirit will help us when the going gets rough. And then lastly here is why. I mean, once we have a list and identified all of these things in terms of, okay, what are the areas you need to work on? You know, we're going to talk about taking a personality test and conduct inventory and interest inventory, okay? But just in terms of identify the areas you need to work on is like, why? Why would I? We're back in 2012. If I didn't do it, I'd die, you know? I went and took a physical. My wife asked me to go take a physical. I took a physical for the first time in about 4 to 5 years, and my blood pressure was out the roof and, you know, cholesterol level and all that. So if we don't understand, and if we value this thing called life and being our best and living our best life, all of these things are important. We're talking about new beginnings, talking about inventory here on the Island Block Radio. Coach V Show powered by Dash. Keep it locked. We'll be back after this brief music break. You're listening to the Coach V Show. Thank you so much for tuning in this Mana Motivation Monday, where iron sharpens iron. Together we rise on Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives.
Sunny all year, but round the corner made it snows. Play it simple, it's whatever you into. Cater what you need and you just pick off the menu. Hey, really you a vibe and I'm buzzing off the high. Got me ready to go live. In the mirror, girl, that body got a cold shape. Catch a body for that body, that's a cold case. Hitting switches on that thing like there's no brakes. Up and down, side to side, girl, that's 4 ways. Yeah, got it laced like that. Slow motion, look you in the race like that. I know you feel it while you playing like that. Way that talking, catch a fade like that, for real.
I can't waste no time, but girl, I wanna get with you. And I can't read your mind, but girl, I know you feeling it too. So shall let me tell you something, in your ear. Can you hear me out? Shall let me tell you something, in your ear. Can you hear me out? Yeah.
Conspicuous amongst the mediocre, I move different like a juiced up, more expensive locomotive. Around the year they try to get closer. You gotta hold the game down because that's never over. Take me off the market like a quick snack, hijack, hit the sack like a quarterback when I bounce it back. Big packet, can you guarantee they handle all that? Once you taste a cookie, you can feel it in your cardiac. They always fall in love with the poom poom. Sweet them right up off their feet, call it broom broom. Try to act like they ain't gassing, broom broom. I'm a goat, I make you pass out in that bedroom. Don't assume cause I'm slim, I can't hold that thing down. Lady and a freak, in the streets of the bed, I rock a big crown. Don't get it twisted, it takes time for that atmosphere. So don't waste it when you tell me something in my ear.
I can't waste no time, but girl, I wanna get with you. And I can't read your mind, but girl, I know you feeling it too. So shall let me tell you something, in your ear. Can you hear me out? Shall let me tell you something, in your ear. Can you hear me out?
Yeah. Game all the same, no switch up. Body little mommy with a bar, no pimp cup. This one here's for the DJ, play that shit. And if you ask what it is, I'ma say that. Flame got lit, I'm scorching, burning down.
You see, you are like the bubbles of my all. Without you, my beautiful, I have no sense of direction. I have no vision. No good.
You're tuned in to Island Block Radio, pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives.
Yeah, Melody Camp. It's the one proper music alongside me. Check, look you and the Empress herself. Only to me queens on Palau Island. Yakwe to me queens on Marshall Islands. Afode to me queens of the Marianas. Yes, dedicated to all me queens from.
Traveled the world and I've seen many sights. 10,000 suns will never brighten my day in the morning quite like you do. I think it's time that they recognize the heart and soul of our island life is still glowing, shining through you. I've seen many beautiful sights that don't compare to you. You make everything seem alright, and all I wanna be is with you. The Western Pacific, you'll stay, a Micronesian woman. All that's really left to say, I dedicate this song to my queen from Micronesia, Marshall Islands, Palau, and yep, can't forget about you. I dedicate this song to my queen from Micronesia, Kiribati from the Peguahan to the Mariana. Some don't look for the beauty within, that's the loss. I'll take that with no more worries. You just stay you. An island queen needs an island king. Your royalty, and that's why I sing. Don't forget it. Be proud, stay true. I've seen many beautiful sights that don't compare to you. You make everything seem alright. All I wanna be is with you. The Western Pacific, you'll find a Micronesian woman, and I'm glad to call her mine. I dedicate this song to my queen from Micronesia, Marshall Islands, Palau, and yep, can't forget about you. I dedicate this song to my queen from Micronesia, Kiribati from the Peguahan to the Mariana.
To all of me queens of the Micronesian Islands, hold your head up high. Walk around 'cause I'm by your side. And you know you got a king, you got a real man in me. To all my queens of the Micronesian Islands, yeah.
Welcome back to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio, powered by Dash on this Mana Motivation Monday. Well, the Super Bowl is set. We got the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. If your team didn't make it, hey, there's next year. And that's not just some pep talk. That's just some reality. Enjoy it on the sofa. Hang out. Enjoy it. I mean, this thing goes round and round in cycles. The New England Patriots isn't in the mix. You know, the Rams were in the Super Bowl last year. The New England Patriots, I think, will always be in the mix as long as Tom Brady's there. The New Orleans Saints are going to be knocking. The Minnesota Vikings showed up for the first time in years. So this thing goes round and round. And as we're talking about new beginnings, sports and all that, I want to congratulate the Kansas City Chiefs and their fans, and also the San Francisco 49ers and their fans, which I am a fan of. And I you start to get sick and tired of being sick and tired of losing and all that. But man, the progress that the 49ers, I don't know much about the Chiefs because I only see them on SportsCenter and highlights and all that. But in terms of my San Francisco 49ers, our San Francisco 49ers, and really the self-inventory that they took, right, where the owner, really stepped back. He made some choices, wrote both the GM and the new head coach 6-year contracts, gave them every opportunity to succeed without pressure. And then, Lynch is just knocking it out in the draft, building the team, from the trenches out, getting some key pieces. I mean, Richard Sherman coming over after leaving Seattle, and we got a wide receiver coming over from the Denver Broncos. And I mean, these type of moves, and then a head coach who's just money in terms of the scheme. Wide receivers that care about blocking, tight ends who probably could go, 300 yards per game and receiving 2 to 3 touchdowns a game in Kittle. I mean, the guy's blocking his butt off. I mean, that's what this aspect of new beginnings, taking inventory and then applying it all over your life so you can give yourself, you, me, and we, every opportunity to succeed in this thing called life, leadership, business, if you're in a sport or competition or relationships, right? So that's what I'm talking about this entire month is new beginnings. And in that, we're talking about take inventory. And number 1 was to identify the things it is that you, me, and we wanted to work on. And then now number 2 is to take a personality test. I talk about this often throughout this show, is go on some type of online personality test. There's the Myers-Briggs type indicator. It's called the MBTI and the Big 5 personality test. Taking a personality test can help you, me, and we, right? It helps us to kind of figure out who we are, what our personality according to these tests. And I used to think that these tests were just BS, especially when I first got out of college. But being on some of the football staffs that I was on in my first career, being a college football coach, being a college football administrator, is that the head coach would ask us to take these tests. And it's amazing the reflection that it gave us. That if you answered the questions honestly and forthrightly, what it would spit back in terms of, hey, this is what is identified according to this test, and your answer is what you're about. And for me, it was dead on. But these personality tests can help you, me, and we make educated career decisions. Whether that's like me, I'm on the second half of my life. I understand that there's less life in front of me than there is behind me, being 44 years old. And if I'm blessed to live another 44, I mean, great. But if not, I mean, this is the reality. If you take a test, even in the midlife or the midway point or the halfway point or the halftime, which I'm in right now, moving forward, these things can help you. Or you're even an 18, 16-year-old kid, a college kid. Take these so you can make educated career decisions. Switch. If you don't like what you're doing, change. I'm not saying it's easy. I just think that it's worth it. And then these tests also provide insight about possible higher education or taking another class in college paths, identifying strengths and weaknesses about a person, both personally and professionally. And when it comes down to taking personal inventory, taking a personality test or 2 is a natural next step. You've got your list of things you'd like to work on, and now you need a clearer picture of how you're going to make those changes by prioritizing according to some reflections, according to some forthright answers that you give according to a test, and then figure it out. And if you don't like the responses that the test gives you, don't do it. And then test out the path and the daily habits and activities that you want and you think is more appropriate than what the test might be telling you. And then you're going to get an answer. And then you can just adjust from there. Career aptitude assessments also are similar to personality tests. Aptitude assessments are a great way to see how you're wired, you, me, and we. Instead of focusing more on what makes you tick as an individual, aptitude tests are a great way to see where you stand professionally. So if you've identified one of the areas you'd like to work on as a quote-unquote career, profession, etc., then add an aptitude assessment to your personal inventory. You can still take a personality test in addition to an aptitude assessment as well. Whether you're looking to start something new or just want to make sure you're on the right path, right? Because that's really what the question is. Am I doing what I should be doing? I mean, after all of these other questions, like, oh, what's life's all about? I mean, you get to be 44 like me. I start to at least make a choice on what my life is about. That it's about my family, that it's about taking full advantage of the multitude of gifts and talents it is that I have, and have my gifts and talents. When you find out through a personality test or a career assessment test or some type of inventory taking that we're talking about, then you use those things to pave your way forward. He's going to allow you to relentlessly pursue what it is that you want, but even more importantly, attract, because you're doing what you love. It does not feel like work, but you do that deal for like 5-10 years. It's going to feel like work now. There's no doubt about that. And if you're putting in grinding hours, I mean, you're making $100,000, everything is going to feel like work, because don't nobody in America or anywhere else on this planet make $100,000 and they don't work. It doesn't matter what the 9 to 5 says or what your schedule says. You're going to have to work overtime even though you don't get paid for it, because that's just how life works in terms of value, transactions, etc. So take that personality test. And in that, we're on to number 3, conduct an interest inventory. So according to the balance, interest inventories are used to measure individuals' interests and compare them to those of people working in various occupations. The first one was created in 1927 by psychologist E.K. Strong and is now referred to as the Strong Interest Inventory. Interest inventories are a great way to discover new and exciting careers. A good interest inventory will help you gauge everything from your favorite recreational activities all the way down to work-related preferences and interests. And just like with your personality test and identification of areas you'd like to change, be honest. There's no benefit in fibbing or lying. Keep it real. Keep it 100 on your answers. In fact, it might even hinder you in the long run if you lie or not being true to yourself. But then, I mean, a test is not going to have to tell you that. You already feel from yourself if you're not being real with yourself, true to yourself. Then you're not real about the sacrifices it is that you're really making or not making. I mean, you know that better than anybody else. And if not, and you're not that aware about yourself, the lack of fulfillment is going to be screaming at you that this isn't what you should be doing. Pro tip, your results in these type of finders, tests, and assessments aren't an end to be all. Just because they indicate you should be a heart surgeon doesn't mean you have to be that. Maybe you're queasy around blood, and that's not something an assessment might pick up on. If this happens, maybe look at the reason why heart surgeon was recommended. Do you like to help others? Get satisfaction? I do. Get satisfaction working with people? I do. That doesn't mean I'm a heart surgeon, but I got to go work on people's heart by doing surgery in a number of different ways, whether that's personal one-on-one coaching, small group coaching, company coaching, corporate coaching, speaking, etc., coaching, success coaching, etc. And what other careers align with those aspects? You're not limited to just your results, so don't feel downtrodden if they aren't what you expected. Like I just alluded to earlier, I mean, if you don't like it, it's your life. Don't let the test dictate what you're doing. It's just to give you a reflection according to your answers of some maybes for you to figure out. Everything in life is a maybe. It comes down to you, me, and we, our choice. And that our choices will have consequences, and that decision, 3Ds, our decisions will determine our destiny. In conclusion, at this point, you probably have a lot of information, right? In terms of what I'm talking about, especially I'm going fast tonight because there's just a lot of great stuff that I want to bring you. And we still coming down to the conclusion of this segment, and we still have segment 3 to 4 on just talking about, hey, how do you take inventory now and then apply that into making a mission, a personal mission statement about you. You've got to get a grip on what makes you tick. And you're ready to turn your dreams into reality if now you make these decisions and create the daily habits and activities and execute on what it is that you want anything to become. And it works that way not because Coach V says so on the Island Block Radio Show powered by Dash. It works like that because that's how life works. But I do know this. Whatever it is that you invest into your life in terms of preparation, research, planning, design, strategy, daily habits and activities, and adjusting all along the way on what the process is, but keeping the plan in the forefront of your mind, you're going to get what you want. Thank you so much for tuning in. More to come on New Beginnings. Thank you so much again on this Mono Motivation Monday, spending time with your personal and professional development radio show. Your boy Coach V on Island Block Radio.
Woman, you love it, don't you? Got me feeling flexible. It's got me feeling like Mr. Incredible. I'm feeling that tingle right in between my toes, baby. Woman, you love it, don't you? Got me feeling flexible. It's got me feeling like Mr. Incredible. I'm feeling that tingle right in between my toes, baby. Hey, darling, how you doing? Hope you're doing fine. I just wanna know what's on your mind. And if you find it in your heart to give me that one chance, I'm trying to show you more than romance. 'Cause darling, I've been waiting for your love, sitting so patient, waiting for your love to come and conquer my soul, baby. When you love it, got me feeling flexible. It's got me feeling like Mr. Incredible. I'm feeling that tingle right in between my toes, baby. Woman, you love it, touch it, got me feeling flexible. It's got me feeling like Mr. Incredible. I'm feeling that tingle right in between my toes, baby. It's a feeling that you get when you're kissing for the first time. It's like opening your eyes to a sunrise, like getting every answer right the first time. You know your boy lucky as hell because I'm her type. The type of man that she needs, a pretty fine thing, be priority, yeah. And I'ma hold it down, no questions. You ain't even really gotta mention my loyalty, it's royalty. Trust and believe you're getting spoiled, B. 'Cause if it's love she believes, then it's all she receives. When you love it, touch it, got me feeling flexible. It's got me feeling like Mr. Incredible. I'm feeling that tingle right in between my toes, baby. Woman, you love it, touch it, got me feeling flexible. It's got me feeling like Mr. Incredible. I'm feeling that tingle right in between my toes, baby.
Come and say, woman, I love it when you put your sexy body on me. Don't even have to touch me, tickle up me fancy. This melody line, it's so sweet like a strawberry. You make me perform like a cow in all the shit. Girl, only you alone have that effect on me. The two of we together like PB and jelly. The perfect combination for some sexuality. And the bed, the how we bird giving me sensual energy. She have me saying, cut me hard like a rocker. How to give it to you non-stop. Got the neighbors calling, the cops them say there is some murderation, but I no hear no gunshot. Girl, I make you moan and scream, and I make it pour out cream. May have she line swollen thing, be you be on kaipo, we pump pump conquering.
Woman, you love it, touch it, got me feeling flexible. It's got me feeling like Mr. Incredible. I'm feeling that tingle right in between my toes, baby. Come on, pretty lady. Woman, you love it, touch it, give it to me, baby. It's got me feeling like Mr. Incredible. I'm feeling that tingle right in between my toes, baby. It's like BB Kimes, come for rip it all damn night, yeah.
Coach V Show.
Welcome back to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio, powered by the newly amazing, sizzling, hot, modern, and Hollywood looking all the way Dash Studios from Hollywood, California to you and yours, wherever it is that you may be tuning in all over the world to right here in Hollywood. With a guy named William on a professional and personal development radio show called The Coach V Show. Thank you so much for tuning in this Mana Motivation Monday. As we continue on this topic of new beginnings, we're moving from the subtopic of taking inventory now to creating your own personal mission statement. I mean, every company or organization that I have ever spoken to has a mission statement, as I alluded to in the beginning of the show. A mission statement really is a brief description of a company or organization's fundamental purpose. This is for the understanding of those within the company or organization, as well as articulating purpose to the public as well. This ensures that everyone is on the same page on its purpose that becomes the launching pad to everything that is done. See, mission statements are designed to provide direction and thrust to an organization, an enduring state of purpose. A mission statement acts as an internal guiding hand, directing the people in the organization. A mission statement explains the organization's reasons for being and answers the question, what business are we in? So, Coach V LLC, what I do on this show, we are a success business. And not only do I teach, train, coach, come with PowerPoints and videos and amazing content to help companies transform and figure out, take inventory of themselves and do all that. Your boy just also partnered with my brother, Ted Labissiere and Caravan Films crew and his partner, Ulysses, to create the Coach V media production team. So I can also aid and assist as in clients that are hiring me and they send me this this Word document that says, Coach V is going to be speaking in this. My media production team just takes what the information is and creates the graphic design, adds the pictures with the right fonts and all that to really make these things go, succeed, achieve, and execute on the mission and vision of whatever speaking engagement that I'm a part of. And that's what the mission statement does for me. That's the business that I am in. What is that for you? A personal mission statement is a bit different from a company mission statement, though. But the fundamental principles are still the same. Writing a personal mission statement offers the opportunity to establish what's important to you and can help guide you towards a decision on a particular approach to life, job, company, or career field. I mean, do you want to succeed and achieve, as well as experience the joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love of life? This will definitely aid. A personal mission statement will definitely aid and assist you in doing so. A personal mission statement helps one identify their core values and beliefs. I believe that a personal mission statement, written statement of what you're all about and what success looks like in terms of your vision, dream, and aspiration looks like to you. A personal mission statement also allows us to identify companies that have similar values, like who do we want to associate, work with, collaborate with, partner with, etc. Like myself and Caravan Films crew forming this Coach V media production team. The biggest problem most people have or face when it comes to personal mission statements is the actual writing of the statement. So to help you get started on your personal mission statement, here is the Coach V 5-step mission building process. Take as much time as you need on each of the steps and remember to dig deeply. Take some notes. Develop a mission statement that is both real and audacious. And to help you better see the process, I've included an example of one of the person's processes that I work with in developing their mission statement. Step for developing a personal mission statement from your boy, Coach V. Here's step number one is identify success and what you feel you're good at. Spend some time identifying 4 or 5 experiences where you have had personal and professional success in recent years. These successes could be at work, in your community, at home, etc. Cite what that is, what those are. Try to identify whether there is a common theme or themes to these past experiences. Step number 2, identify the life qualities. Write that down. What are the LQs that are important to you? Develop a list of life qualities that you believe identify who you are and what your priorities are. The list can be as long as you need. Once your list is complete, see if you can narrow your LQs, your life qualities, down to around 5 or 6 of the most important. Then see if you can choose the one value that is most important to you. To me, is faith and self-belief. Step number 3, identify how you add value. List the ways you could add value in an ideal situation. How could you add value best to the world, family, employer or future employers, friends, and then also your community? And then number 4 is to identify targets. right? None of us can hit what we can't see or don't see. Spend some time thinking about your passion in life and the goals, the targets you have for yourself. Make a list of your personal goals, perhaps in the short term, up to 1 to 2 years, and the long term, 3 years or more. And then step number 5, write this mission statement based on the first 4 steps and better understanding of yourself. Begin writing your personal mission statement. Let's review those because I went quick. These are the Coach V steps for developing a personal mission statement. Here is step 1. Identify success in what you feel you're good at. What are you good at? Where scripture says, your talents will make room for you. What are your talents? What are your passions? What are you good at? What do you put the least amount of effort in and do very well at that often amazes the people around you? That for them is absolutely amazing. Like, wow, I can't believe you sing like that, play the drums like that, or read and then write reports like that. You can account numbers like that, right? Identify the successes and what you feel you're good at. Accountants, one of my boys, Eric Jackson, he's one of the VPs. He's the second VP for Invictus Youth Foundation, for my foundation. And this dude can sit and look at numbers all day. Like, I can sit and research articles, watch video, go and interview people about how, the who, what, where, when, how, and why of a story that made you successful, achieve. Accountants can just sit and look at numbers like that all day. Your boy, Coach V? No. Sports Center? Yes. Reruns of Sports Center on the 3rd time, the same thing. When there's amazing football on, I can watch those highlights and my Lakers win all the time. I can watch that over and over again. But see, that's what you can do when you're good at it. When you're good at something, and that's what I'm trying to help you identify, is that you would do it. You're willing to do it, and you actually do it. There's a lot of people that want but miss the will and can't do. What we're talking about in terms of identify your successes and what you feel you're good at is that you want to do it, you're willing to do it, and you can actually do it. Number 2 is step 2. Identify the life qualities. What life qualities are you about? I already know what those are. There's 16 of them. I talk about them with every industry that I first go to. And I just introduced myself about talking about faith and self-belief, life struggle, teamwork and relationships, and transformation, character, integrity, work ethic, discipline, respect, commitment, the audacity to dream, skill set, attitude, finish, win, and do it all again. Those are life qualities that are important to me. Now, list yours. Number 3 is identify how you add value. How is it that you add value? For example, in my community, we teach kids for free some basic fundamentals in sports, which is in basketball, football, soccer, snowboarding, and skiing, and we do it for free, but we use those to hook. How do I add value? We teach the same life lessons that I do to corporate companies all across America for free, using a sport where I add value to the community as the chief volunteer in charge. That is number 3. Identify how you add value. Number 4 is identify your targets, your goals, your dreams, hopes, and aspirations, because we can only hit what we can see. And a lot of times, if you can't see it, you can't hit it. And even more, you could see it and have no chance at hitting it because something is missing. But I know this. Going back to the beginning, no one can hit what they cannot see. And number 5 would be to take all those 4 steps and then write out your mission statement. We want to keep this thing rolling. Talking about new beginnings, how to become the best we can be, live our best life. Why not? Because the counter to that, the opposite of working to become your best, is mediocrity. And you know what? Mediocrity is too far from the top, and it is too close to the bottom for champions and people that want to be the best that they can be. And then live your best life. Why wouldn't you? according to everything that you have in your life right now. Pull the trigger and make choices with that so that you can get that achievement and success, yes, but even more so what I'm talking about in that is that joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you on this Mono Motivation Monday, listening to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio. We'll be right back.
Keep burning outside Jacareza. It's another lesson too for the lovers working all around the world. Sing for the big brother
I didn't think love would find me, maybe cause I thought I wouldn't need it. All hope was taken from me, I believed I was better off without it. Then along she came, this pretty little thing with a smile that lit up my life. And little did I know that things were gonna change, and this wasn't something I could fight. She changed the way I thought before, cause of her my heart is open door. See that girl be the only one, no need for another. My search is done, I'm wasting time, cause I know I got the way. She make me hot, go hard, cause I know she's my Mrs. Right. She make me hot, go hard. I waited all my life, but she's on time. She make me hot, go hard. Yup, she's the one I'm gonna make my wife. She make me hot, go hard. She make me hot, go. She make me hot, go. I didn't think it would hit me the moment I would ever feel like this. So, cause I'm never giving all of me to someone the way I act like this, yeah. And I'll never be the same, and it almost feels strange, it's crazy. She's all I've ever wanted. Just the way she calls my name, yeah, brightens up my day. Baby girl knows that I love it. She changed the way I thought before, cause of her my heart is open door. See that girl be the only one, no need for another. My search is done, I'm wasting time, cause I know I got the way. She make me hot, go hard, cause I know she's my Mrs. Right. She make me hot, go hard. I waited all my life, but she's on time. She make me hot, go hard. Yup, she's the one I'm gonna make my wife. She make me hot, go hard. She make me hot, go. She make me hot, go. She make me hot sing. She make me hot sing like oh na na, oh na na. She make me hot sing. She make me hot sing like oh na na, oh na na. Girl, it's all your fault why I'm feeling like this. I just can't control the way my heart is beating. It's hopeless, cause the more I try, the harder it gets. Baby girl, only time can stop it.
Oh, baby girl, no more talk, let's go. Couple up, bubble up, y'all and flow. You know, all them prince in divas in the ghetto, them I know they even bang rocket. Drum is a ruler, vivid like rubber bum bum. Rub it up a rubber, that body rubber bum bum. She give me 5-star loving, sweet like sugar, she more than a feeling.
She make me hot, go hard.
Every time,
cause I know she's my Mrs. Right. She make me hot, go hard.
she make my heart go.
I waited all my life, but she's on time. She make me hot, go hard.
She the only
Yup,
one.
she's the one I'm gonna make my wife. She make me hot, no, she make me hot, go. She make me hot, go. She make me hot, go. Cause I know she's my Mrs. Right. She make me hot, go. I waited all my life, but she's on time. She make me hot, go. Yup, she's the one I'm gonna make my wife. She make me hot, go. She make me hot, go. She make me hot, go.
You are now tuned in to the Coach V Show.
Welcome back to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio, powered by Dash, your radio show for personal and professional development. The Viliami Tuivai Show, the Coach V Show. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Mono Motivation Monday, talking new beginnings this entire month. We just talked about taking personal inventory on segments 1 and 2. Number 3, we talked about how to make a personal, how to revise, make, and create a personal mission statement. And now we're going to go over that. Making a mission statement in terms of new beginning. Let me coach you up and give you the tools to succeed, not to fail. Here is an example. And let me also say this. Our kids, as parents, as leaders, those that follow, they will only do partly what we tell them to, but they will be 100% of what they see us be. That is the power of example, and that is why I'm giving you examples of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 from the last segment in terms of identify your success. Identifying success example is this: developed new products features for stagnant product. Identify success is this: part of a team that developed a new positioning statement for a product. Identifying success is this: helped child's school with a fundraiser that was wildly successful. Identify success example is this: increased turnout for the opening of a new local theater company. Themes: past successes all relate to creative problem solving and execution of a solution. So what is that? What are the things it is that you have done? For me, I looked at this and as I teach and train my one-on-one clients on how to create their own personal mission statement, you know, they often ask me, well, what were you good at? And I was blessed now. I grew up dirt poor, humble beginnings, free and reduced lunch, could never afford to pay for my own lunch. And to nobody's fault, that just is what it is. It just was what it was, right? But when they said, what were you successful at? Man, I've been winning championships on sports teams since I was in junior high. I mean, how to win. I've been taught how to win and succeed, work with other people, compromise, do what it is that's the lesser role because it was asked of me in the beginning. Got the role that I wanted later in terms of my career, in terms of becoming a sophomore, junior, and senior. I became the captain, right? Have made all league, have won multitudes of championships in different sports as a player, won multiple games in the JC ranks and then also in the Division II game, right? And then also won multiple championships. I mean, I've been on championship teams almost in my entire life. And now I coach championship organizations, and now I'm their success coach. Besides the fact of marrying an amazing woman, having an amazing 2 healthy children, I have a network that is so large. People keep their network small and their circles small and all that. I get that talk, right? And I know why, because people get offended. They get disrespected. I don't roll like that, and neither do my people. Hundreds of people that when I call or they call me, we just pick up where we left off. Hey, man, how can I help you? How can I bring value? Right? But what are those successes for you? And then number 2, so number 1 is identify the successes. List them. You can have 12, 13, 14, 15. And if you only have 1, 2, or 3, that's going to help you get more successes. If you can list what those are and cite what is the common theme that really draws and calls to you. That's why it's called a calling. That's why it's called your purpose. It will call you. You may not always listen, but take it from a dude that I was in an industry where it was very lucrative and I loved doing football, but I just had a different calling on my heart. And I went that way. And it's not disappointed. Number 2 is identify life qualities, right? I told you my 16 life lessons. I wrote a book on it called Life Champion, Life Lessons That Yield Championship Results. What are the life qualities? Here's an example of life qualities. Hardworking, industrious, means you can figure things out without being given all the directions. You can make things work. You can find solutions, etc. Creativity. We're talking about number 2, identify life qualities. Here are some examples in terms of creating your own personal mission statement. I mean, you got a company vision statement. Your schools, your kids' schools have a mission statement. There's something that they're all about that identifies what their focus is. What about you? Because I find this. All the millionaires, billionaires, and highly successful people that have less money than that, but they have all the joy in the world, right? And they say it's not about money. But do you know that after $160,000 of a combined income in a household, there's less divorce, less issues, more happiness, increase in fulfillment? Because it's not about the money, but man, there's nothing that drowns a soul, an individual, a couple, or family more than having no money. And I say that all the time. And my younger brother would always remind me when I say, hey, man, more money, more problems. And he would tell me, hey, no money, bigger problems. That's some hashtag real talk. But in terms of identifying your life qualities, what is that? Most important core values like problem solving, creativity, analytical, compassionate, empathetic, decision maker, leader, positive, etc. Most important overall core quality is creativity. For me, it's faith and self-belief. That is the most important life quality to me. Right after that is family. So I think faith, self-belief, and family all hold the 1A spot. Everything else comes after that in terms of my most important core values and what are the most important things in terms of life attributes and what it is that I focus on the daily. Number 3 is identify how you add value. The world in general, right? What we talked about. Develop products and services that help people achieve what they want in life, to have a lasting impact on the way people live their lives. My family. To be a leader in terms of a personal outlook, compassion for others, and maintaining an ethical code. To be a good father and husband, to leave the world a better place for my children and their children. This is how you add value to what? The world, your family, your employer or future employer. We're talking about personal mission statement, and then your friends and your community. How do you add value as an employer? Here's an example. To lead by example and demonstrate how innovative and problem-solving products can be successful both in terms of solving a problem and successful in terms of profitability and revenue generation for an organization. How do I add value to my friends? To always have a hand held out for my friends. For them to know they can always come to me with any problem. And then in my community, how do I add value to my community? The example here is use my talents in such a way as to give back to my community. Once you make it, make sure that you're adding value back. I think that is a very honorable thing, that once you make it, you reach back and pull up everybody that you are able to without drowning yourself. And then also identify targets. Short term, to continue my career with a progressive employer that allows me to use my skills, talent, and values to achieve success for the firm. Long term, identifying targets. To develop other outlets for my talents and develop a longer term plan for diversifying my life and achieving both professional and personal success. Number 5, mission statement. Now, all of those 4. Now, this is the example of the mission statement from those 4 steps. To live life completely, honestly, and compassionately, with a healthy dose of realism mixed in with imagination. And to know that all things are possible if one sets their mind to finding the answer. Test your personal mission statement at every opportunity. This is the Coach V, five steps to creating your own personal mission statement. It is not meant to be written in stone. You should edit it as needed, and particularly in the beginning of the year, set aside some time to review, like right now, your career, job goals, and mission statement, and make adjustments as necessary to what's written and your life. That's the Coach V Show. Talking about new beginnings, how do you take inventory, and then also how to create the 5-step by Coach V to make your own personal mission statement. In that, I close with this poem, The One in the Glass, with Coach V edits. The man in the glass. After you win or you fail or finish, struggle, now it's pride. When you get what you want in your struggle for self and the world makes you champ for a day, just go to the mirror and look at yourself. See what that person has to say. For it isn't your father or mother or spouse whose judgment you must pass. The one whose verdict counts most in your life is the one staring back from the glass. Some people may think you're straight shooting chum. and call you a wonderful person, but the person in the glass says you're only a bum if you can't respond as the one in question. That's the one to please, never mind all the rest, for it's you clear up to the end, and you've passed your most dangerous, difficult test if the one in the glass is your friend. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of life and get pats on your back as you pass, but your final reward will be heartache and tears if you cheated the one in the glass. By Peter Dale Winbrow Sr. with Coach V Edits. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Coach V Show. Tune in every Mono Motivation Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to the Coach V Show, where iron sharpens iron. Together we rise on Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives. Powered by Dash, the new Dash radio station, Hollywood, California.